Thank you, Nikhil. Now I represent SICCI, South Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries. I am the chairman for the MSME committee. SICCI as an organization is a 13 years old organization. It started in 1910, so pre-independence association organization. So it's celebrated, in fact, Platinum Jubilee in the year 1986 with then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, and also it did its centenary celebration in the year 2010 with Sri Chidambaram, Union Minister for Home Affairs, India. So the idea of the SICCI, the purpose of the SICCI is to promote business by Indian business by protecting and promoting their interest in the regional level, national and international level. That is the objective with which it was started. So the SICCI conducts a lot of meetings, acts as a bridge between industries and the government, representing a lot of the industrial issues to the government. And they also do a lot of delegations, take a lot of delegations to overseas, taking industries from India to other countries. Vice versa, they bring the industries from other countries, introduce to the Indian industries. In fact, very recently, Indian entrepreneurs together with the Tamil Nadu State Industrial Minister to Israel. So these are some of the notable activities of SICCI. And within SICCI, there's a lot of groups. That one such group of MSME is headed by me. And like our Nikhil is there in the Energy Consortium of SICCI, and a lot of other innovation committee and various committees are there. This is just to say something about SICCI. When I thought of this energy, so more than the SICCI point of view, I thought as an entrepreneur myself, I thought I can try to present as an MSME, as a real-time case to you, for you to understand, because I am not an electrical engineer and an expert like you people to suggest anything about the new things, but as a consumer of power in the industry, because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm having a 40 years of engineering experience, 10 years as a working experience, and 30 years as an industrial business experience. So in this tenure, we started we have 3 industries in Ambattur Estate in our company in Chennai, in and around Chennai. Basically, we are into manufacturing of tools and dies for the plastics, aluminum, sheet metal, and forgings. And we also have a manufacturing unit like injection molding, die castings, press shops, and machine shops. So it's typically a parts manufacturing, tools and parts, and assembly manufacturing for various industries like automotive, non-automotives, consumer durables, and other. Of late, we recently also started entering into mobile phone industry. We have started making this because India has now started making components for mobiles as well. So from my earlier days, I always remember this powerful statement: energy saved is energy produced. So that is a very, very powerful statement. So we know how difficult it is to produce every unit of power and at what cost. So the more and more we produce, our revenue save with a conscious about. That's what we are talking about, energy efficiency, how efficiently we are going to consume the power. So, in fact, while going through the brochure of this workshop, I saw that it was mentioned that with more than 70% of the recommendations provided by the energy auditors being ignored, especially in the industrial sector. It's a true statement, but it's a very sad statement. So, there's a lot of recommendations, suggestions by the auditors, but unfortunately, many industries are not able to grab it and start using it for their own benefit. It's not for others' benefit, it's for their own benefits. So that ignorance is or the lack of awareness to that is also maybe due to multiple factors. As an MSME, I can talk from voice the MSMEs concerns. Basically, the MSMEs struggle on the following few aspects. Like always, the MSMEs, there's a constant struggle on fluctuating raw material prices, the highly volatile raw material prices, and the MSME is having committed to the large OEMs and the tier 1s to supply certain parts at certain price. They'll be on a constant struggle to meet the targets, where when any increase in price, the customers are not that easy going to agree to that. So it's going to be a constant struggle on that. Second is the cash flow issue and the payments from this there are companies who definitely do a lot of good companies pay on time as they do, but the many companies have deferred payments, delayed payments, which puts a lot of cash flow problem with the MSME industries, and also the charges, banks, the kind of lending rates. All this puts a huge stress and pressure on the MSMEs. Then comes the shortage of manpower. When I say manpower, it's a skilled or trained manpower for operating certain kind of machines. Though we have India is a country with the highest population, though we have human manpower, man with a trained manpower, then correct kind of manpower is there is a shortage of a big manpower, and also, but MSMEs have a peculiar problem of attrition where the tier ones and OEMs are the one who the MSME industries, the people trained from them are the grabbing ground for the higher industry. So they constant move to the bigger companies. So MSMEs will be in a constant pressure to keep training the new ones and breed them to that level. So, and the last also comes the constant gradual regular increase in the power tariffs. Because of the pressure from the other three areas, the last one is normally being taken as take the back seat. That's what I presume may be one of the reason for the ignorance or lack of interest in implementing it. But when in our companies, we also started having a lot of awareness. But when we started to do some savings and other things, see, basically, whatever you want to do, any improvement, I strongly believe on one thing, like, no, what you cannot measure, you cannot improve. That's a very profound statement. Unless you don't have a proper data, you don't know where to start and what to start and what it's going to contribute or what benefit it's shown. So in our company, we started collecting various data. Probably we're providing submeters. See, though many of the MSMEs will have only common meter of the EB meter, and every month they note the EB reading and they pay that. They don't even know why how much it come and how much it come. There's no accounting or traceability on that. Probably now we decided in all our unit started providing more submeters. That would particularly all the high power intensive machine put on individual submeters, so you could be able to track it month on month, day on day, see how much is the power it is consuming and started recording it. That submeter concept helped really for us to reveal a lot of informations about the consumption of power pattern. In fact, interestingly, when we did that, few things came out. Maybe I am one of our press. So we have a 400-ton press and a 200-ton press. Obviously, when a press with a 400-ton should consume more power than the 200-ton press. Surprisingly, it happened the vice versa. The 200-ton press was consuming higher power than the 400-ton press. And we found why the reason is it was a pretty old press which we imported from Japan about 30 years back. And I was told it is a engine of IE1, one grade of engine motor. Whereas the other one, the new one is a grade 3 of engine motor. So this addition and the idea is now we have to think of replacing the motor. Though it has a cost, when we worked out, it has a payback of within 1 year. We can take out the cost saving because that's a kind of a power saving. It happens. If I replace that motor with buying a new one, I can recover the cost in a year's time. So similarly, more than that, another very shocking news is when we did the power meters, we found compressor is the one which consumes the highest power in the factory. We thought our big CNC machines or presses are the other one. See, normally in a factory, if you see, the compressor gensets are the ignored ones, which will be outside the periphery of the factory. It doesn't occupy the main building. But that is the one which consumes the highest power and 20% of the power, which was a very revealing fact for us. And when we started looking more deeper into it, then we found that is, we took the help of some air audit. When we did the air audit, we noticed in one Sunday we switched off the power and did it. Almost 75 places there was a leak in the plant. So that's a leak was one of the biggest thing. And we know the people in the shop floor also, people has the tendency, they think air is free. But the profound news is air is free, but not the compressed air. So compressed air has a cost. So because of that, lot of thing. Then when we started working more on that, a lot of things we did, like on the normal compressed line, we did the rim line concept. Probably I can go to the slide. So ring main system in the compressor. So when you have a normal system, the end of the machine doesn't have a required power drop. Because of that, you use the pressure, line pressure. Rather, we have the ring line. We could able to reduce almost 1 bar. That is a kind of a saving we can see. And even the machine, all the machines used to have 6 to 8 bar pressure on the line. But even the employees who are cleaning the machine with a nozzle, air gun, they use the same, take a tap from there and take it. But when we noticed it, why you need such a high pressure for cleaning purpose? We put a separate line and have a regulator to have it only 2 bar, because 2 bar itself good enough to clean. There is a substantial reduction in the power saving. See, these are all the little tiny things which makes very phenomenal saving on the long run, which been totally been ignored or unaware by many of the industries. And like variable frequency VFD in the compressor. Compressor again, those days we used to have a lot of pump reciprocating compressor. Switching over to a screw compressor made a huge difference in the power consumption, providing a reservoir so that frequent switch on switch off of the compressor can be eliminated with keeping a reservoir tank. So likewise, the lot of little improvements, we could see the 28% compressor consumption has come down to 12%. That is the kind of saving we could able to achieve in our plant. Then various other kind of enabling a CNC screens, which you have a standby mode, and yeah, sure. So LEDs, converting from LEDs, and these kind of stuff are all what we did. So when I take the consumption of our companies in an annual, last year we consumed about 23 lakh units, and we paid 2 crore as my money to the power cost. So I should thank IIT who came and did an audit and given about 74-page report, which is very good, and they are projecting a saving of to the extent of 20 and 17-18% in all my 3 units. Probably if I do, I will likely to be a saving of about 40 lakhs. So that's a phenomenal saving. So I should thank IIT for that. So in fact, we took it very seriously that we should implement all the suggestions given by your team to see the reap the benefits out of it. This is some of the, other than the cost of saving of the consumption of power, next is the quality of the power. How the quality of the power can be improved. See, by controlling your harmonic and power factor. This is also another factor which is being very much ignored by the industries because they are not aware of lack of knowledge. So most of the people end up paying penalties exceeding their power factor, or when the harmonic balances are not maintained, harmonic is not maintained, it affects the power machines, particularly use the CNC machines. And today in India, the frequent power cuts, there's a lot of power disruptions. So costly CNC machines are at risk. So, sorry. Then we also started thinking of going for a solar. So now thinking on the phenomenal power cost, so we have taken a decision to implement about 350 kVA solar in our companies. So in fact, that also I'll be seeking a help, and maybe I like to keep it as a model to simulate to the other MSMEs who can be get motivated. It's because most of the MSMEs, it's like seeing is believing, and we can have one model or success story. Probably that can be taken to the other industries, and they will be easy to follow it. So the solar is something which, in fact, as a trial model, I did it in my house, and it's about 8 kVA. Where in the last 6 months, I could say that, particularly in the last one, say about 1880 kg of carbon CO2 emission I saved. When I see that, it really gives me a kind of an happiness. And I think if I do it for 350 kVA in my factories, we can see what kind of CO2 emission can be saved. So this is a thing, and it's such a huge potential. And not only for company saving, it is for the nation and for the world and for this universe and for our next generation. So I really appreciate and thank for the opportunity given. And I wish this energy consortium to go strength to strength. And we like to extend all our support for the mutual benefit. Thank you very much.